Hi, my name is June and I'm a psychologist practicing in Melbourne, Australia. I've been doing a series of videos about a different take on how to overcome coronavirus without letting it destroy our spirits. In this video, I will be addressing the sensitive questions about death and the loss of our loved ones. So how about those of us who have lost loved ones through the virus? Or those of us who know people who have contracted the virus and need to be in self-isolation? How do we respond to our fears of possibly losing them or our own lives if they or we don't get better? So here comes one of the biggest, most confronting and the darkest question that faces humanity. It would not be wrong to say that in actual fact, death, for those of us who have a faith or some sort of spiritual leaning, or in other words, those who believe in an afterlife, are not as fearful of the unknown. How about those of us who do not believe in religion, much more a soul or a God? I challenge you to reflect on different views and takes on a perspective on spirituality that is meaningful to you. However, some of us listening to this may spit on that idea and think that, gee, if there is a God, He wouldn't let this happen. Well, we are not going to get into a religious debate here. We can have a middle ground approach. We can meet somewhere in the middle by trying our best to stay positive, keep healthy, and do what it takes to stay alive, and to think to ourselves that even if our most earnest intention and efforts to stay alive is not enough to keep us alive, we can go peacefully because we respected the gift of life. We can then make peace with ourselves as we leave our human consciousness because we tried. In the uncertainty of the journey in fighting for our lives, for those of us who are still mobile and able, let us show and tell our loved ones how much we appreciate and love them. And definitely, it is on us to tell our loved ones who are suffering how much we love, treasure, and appreciate them. All gloom and doom. Let's not forget to have hope, and also think that there are many of those who have recovered, and we can too, if we look after ourselves with what the health professionals tell us to do and to maintain a positive mindset. I know it sounds too simplistic to reduce the enormity and the tragic loss of so many lives in a few sentences. But read deeper. These are ways to cope with a pandemic that will claim more lives, and we need to face it with courage. That is not to say we will not grieve. The grieving is inevitable, but the prolonged punitiveness of such tragedy need not be a tragedy that stops us from living, because in a state of such pandemic, life has to go on. And we need to keep fighting. We will mourn for the loss of our loved ones. We will cry and feel sad and desperate. But we know that they have fought for us and us for them. Those who lived, we can celebrate. Sadly, for those who didn't, we remember them and cherish them in our hearts for having been in our lives. I do not take lightly the loss of a life. However, I understand this is the natural cycle of living. I may say this at a distance because I have not yet lost a loved one because of this pandemic, and I hope it doesn't happen to any of my family, friends, loved ones, or any of you. I suppose if it does happen to me, I wouldn't be able to maintain such composure saying this calmly. But I take comfort knowing that, because I believe in an afterlife, should I lose a loved one, that the spirit of my loved one will not perish. So I put myself in the shoes of an atheist now. I suppose for an atheist, the death of one person could mark the end of the person's sole existence. So if I'm an atheist now, how would I recover from that? As much as this perspective can be applied to us all, an atheist could think that life is fragile and that one should cherish those around when the opportunity is still there. And for the beautiful memory of the person who has passed on, one might then try to live out their good virtues as a testament of them and to continue their legacy in this world. Let us now review some of the deep points from this presentation. Those who believe in an afterlife can have hope that the spirit of their loved ones live on. Those who do not have a spiritual leaning by now, it is a good invitation to explore that if they haven't had already. Having respected the gift of life to the very end gives a sense that one has tried one's best and fought till the end. That is honorable and respectable. It is important to show and tell our loved ones that we love and appreciate them when they are alive, not when they are dead. Grieving does not need to leave us inevitably bitter on a continuing basis. We can celebrate the lives of those who didn't make it by remembering them and cherishing them in our hearts. For those who have faith or even atheists themselves, living out the good qualities of the loved ones we have lost can help us continue their legacy and celebrate their existence. I know it must have been a very difficult and confronting topic to listen to. I would like to say here that for the spiritualists, life does not end even though it ends mortally. And for the skeptics, the legacy of those who have left, you know and I know they can never leave you because their essence live in your heart and you can carry on their legacy by living out their virtues. In the next video in this series, we'll talk about social distancing and self-isolation. Thank you.